You probably don't know this, but one of my favorite genres of films is the based on a true story genre, or as we're more referring to it now, the biopic genre. I can't really explain why. Maybe it's just something to do with learning about how the real world works through a visual medium that just gets me so excited to watch a movie when I know that somebody actually did this crap in real life. Now, the biopic genre has been getting popular lately over the last few years, and the most common link to that happens to be 2018's Bohemian Rhapsody. I mean, why wouldn't it be that movie? Everybody loves Queen, everybody goes nuts over it, and it was a big deal for the time, getting a bunch of Oscar nominations. And it also made it very obvious that every biopic is exactly the same. I mean, you just go with their normal backstory on where they started out, and then you show their rise to fame, their addiction to drugs and sex, and being an asshole to everyone around them. Then they get professional help, and then before you know it, they're a better person for it. Sometimes you'll even get lucky, and the main character will die at the end of the movie, so that way it can get a heartfelt lesson of their legacy lives on to this very day. Blech! Blow me. Now, because Bohemian Rhapsody was such a massive success, a bunch of other biopics came out over the last few years, and all of them started being the exact same thing. So, in order to make a new one lately, you have to do something to stand out. And just last year, in 2024, we got exactly that. Now, criminally, this film underperformed in the United States, and not a lot of people saw it. The best it got was an Oscar nomination for its visual effects, but since then, nothing has come of it. Nobody talks about it, nobody does any long-form videos about it, it just sort of sits there as a part of history. And now, here I am, talking about this film because, in actuality, it's one of my favorite movies of all time right now. And that movie being Better Man. Yes, the biopic about British pop star Robbie Williams, where he's portrayed the entire movie as a monkey. Yes, that is one of my favorite movies of all time right now. Why this film specifically? Well, there's a multitude of reasons as to why I love this film so much. One of the biggest is that the director of the film happened to be the same director who did The Greatest Showman and executive produced a former favorite film of mine, Rocketman. But the biggest reason that I love this film so much? I think it's because nobody actually saw the deeper hidden meaning behind portraying Robbie Williams as a monkey. And I'm going to explain it to you right now. Now, Robbie himself has actually gone on record to stating that the reason they went with the monkey was because they wanted to stand out from other biopics, so they decided to portray him as his spirit animal, which just happens to be a monkey. But why a monkey, you may be asking? Well, Robbie himself also states that he saw himself as a little less evolved than everyone else. So taking it quite literally, a monkey seems like a pretty good fit for a guy like Robbie Williams. But this is what I argue. I argue that the monkey actually represents a metaphor for Robbie Williams' entire career. Taking an example being Robbie Williams' music video for Rock DJ, he originally portrayed the video of him stripping down completely naked until tearing off his skin and then throwing hunks of flesh at people just so they get to notice him. This is because he's gone on record saying that the idea came from the saying that people will not love you until they get their pound of flesh. To give the saying some context, it actually means that people will not pay attention to you unless you do something that makes you stand out from everybody else. Which, if you think about Robbie Williams, that's basically everything. His actions during the peak of his career can borderline between insanity and genius, which most people are 100% convinced he's both. Now, remember before when I said that the director wanted to make a biopic that stood out from the rest? Well, Robbie Williams is a person who stands out from the rest. He's the kind of guy to act very cheeky when he performs. The kind of guy who will insult other people while on stage and then play it off as a joke. That's Robbie Williams. He even says it himself in the film that the character of Robbie Williams is actually just a persona he can hide behind so he doesn't have to be his real self. But the funny thing about stage personas is eventually everybody knows the persona, but nobody knows the person behind it. This creates isolation and anxiety on having to keep up that performance even in your own personal life, to the point where you constantly think you're not good enough. You struggle day in and day out with keeping up this persona that you're on top of the world, you're the king, but you then realize that you're just another guy who's just performing for a bunch of people who will eventually be forgotten. You quite literally end up as a dancing monkey. They just want to see you perform. They don't want to see what happens behind the scenes. They don't even care about what you're going through. Alright children, sit down and shut up. I will be your instructor for today, and we're going to be talking about symbolism and metaphors. Please do not be alarmed by the giant security cameras watching your every single movement, and also the fact that you are glued to your seats, because we are talking. Now shut up. The scene of Robbie Williams killing all his other monkey counterparts before stabbing his own childhood self is a metaphor for him fighting his own inner demons before killing his childhood, leaving him as nothing more than a husk of his former self. The soft lights we see when Robbie first gets to be a part of Take That and also meets his girlfriend are all natural highs that he's feeling, while the ones that are bright, colorful, and constantly in your face are artificial ones from his drugs and alcohol abuse. And finally, Robbie seems to only crack jokes whenever he's on the defensive, showing his own insecurities and how he doesn't let other people in. I hope this was educational for all of you, and yes, I am fully aware you've all been sending each other dick pics. You will all stay after class and rewatch the movie so you can learn your lesson. I honestly would love to keep gushing about this film for like another hour with all sorts of other little details, like the fact that every single picture of Robbie is replaced with a monkey, or that he's the only chimp in history to have eyebrows. But instead, I implore each and every one of you to watch Better Man. It's on Paramount Plus right now if you want to watch it yourself, and I highly recommend that you do. It's one of the best musical biopics I've seen ever, and I think you're gonna love it. Well, that's it for me. See you next time, and I hope you have a great day.